Hello and welcome back to a very special edition of Crypto News with Julie Kennis. I'm your host, Julie Kennis, and as I said, it's a very special episode today. As always, this show is powered by the Gokhshtein News Network and sponsored by Market Cipher. And today we have a special guest joining us all the way from Germany. So we are pre-recording this and airing it out. So welcome to our premiere. This is Oliver with Stand. Oliver, welcome to the stage.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you on. So, and now this is not crypto, as we were saying just before we went live. You are with Stand, which is a real world assets company, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah.
So, just using the blockchain technology, just for advantage of using real life assets.
I love the concept of, and I love real world assets. Let me just say, real world assets is one of my favorite use cases of crypto. And so it actually gives some validity to it, in my opinion. So, but your particular company does something different with real world assets. So tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
Okay. We was just taking the blockchain technology, as I said in the beginning, to manage your real life assets. So we turn a little bit the page while you are just using, for example, the blockchain for cryptocurrencies to move it and handle it. We are just using the blockchain in the opposite to move in the real life, the assets, in our case, especially gold. So we have just planned, and I think it's already time to talk about. We are planning to replace the US dollar in the crypto sphere. What means, the very, very first layer in the end is the US dollar. Of course, every crypto has its own first layer and so on, but we would like to replace the US dollar for calculating and especially thinking when you're using crypto. Actually, every crypto is valued in just US dollar or euro or other real life fiat currencies. And I do not like this, The problem is that everybody say, yeah, it's a pyramid scheme and so on for this coin or for this token, which is not. It's just, the normal market capitalization, what an asset is doing when it's virtual. So the main issue we already see here at Standard in Gold is that you calculate always in dollar. How much is my Bitcoin worth X dollars? How much is my Ethereum and so on? And we just have built it now, the missing link to the real life assets. What means you can, for now, exchange your cryptocurrencies into gold with us without any bank. And this is what crypto means in the end. We just avoid banking systems at all. Unfortunately, a lot of banks are now entering the crypto sphere because they understand they can make some money with. But this is exactly not what we wanted to do in the very first beginning. Right. So we just find a way that we say, do not calculate anymore in US dollar. Let's start to calculate in gold. Because let's take the Bitcoin. It's the most famous coin. We can say every other coin is good as well, but the Bitcoin is just the famous one. If we all have started to say Bitcoin in gold, okay, and then we use just the leverage of gold with the leverage of Bitcoin, the Bitcoin will be today not 74 or $5,000 of worth. It will be more than $200,000 worth. Right. And this is exactly, the issue every cryptocurrency has. In the end, it isn't, but it looks, like a basket of US dollars where you're putting it in, and when it rises, it's just more dollars worth. I understand everyone who is just keen on making money this way. Why not? I mean, making money is nothing bad. But if we really would like to go away from the old system and using the cryptocurrencies, we need just a fundament, so the first layer, which goes away from fiat, because, every cryptocurrency has in the end the same issue. When the dollar, for example, is failing and fade away, there is no value, there is no worth. We cannot really handle it, what to do with it. But if we start right now, what we have built to combine it, so gold and crypto, we are entering an absolutely new era, especially for crypto, because then crypto has definitely separated from fiat money And this fight, what is better, the boomer assets, gold, silver, and so on, or crypto, doesn't matter anymore because they are not in competition with each other. Both sides are in competition with the fiat system. So to go away from fiat system, the only thing I personally see is just a partnership between crypto and real life assets. Of course, there are some other projects with real estates and so on, but we just would like to make it easy for the user to understand it. So we are using the blockchain technology because of one and only reason. You can keep your tokens which you have purchased on our site, on our application. You just do not need a bank, and you do not need to leave the blockchain sphere. What means when you exchange your Bitcoin into gold in our store, you get just a token, which is exactly a token which says which gold exactly belongs to you. So this is not just a pool, it's just really a special piece of gold which belongs to you when you come and buy some token at us. And the point is you can save your token. For example, the solid, this is the very first token when you enter our system, is always 0.1 gram of gold. And we know exactly which gold because it belongs to you. You are the owner of this gold, just stored in our storage, until you would like to have it handled out, or just sell the gold back to us and we send you fiat money wherever you would like to. And coming soon, you can exit as well in cryptocurrencies again.
Oh, wow.
And the main thing we just have in our idea is, as I said, you do not need a bank between the systems, but you can save our token as well, for example, on MetaMask or any wallet you would like to, So you are staying still in this crypto sphere, but have just a real life asset like gold. And if you would like to, you can go back into crypto. It's a pretty good option to park some gains you made, because a lot of traders, do not want to go back to fiat, and then they go into some stable coins which do not bring any profit.
Pegged to $1, yeah.
Yeah, it's just boring. It's boring, You put it just into a stable coin and it doesn't move at all. Maybe for 0.101 or something, what's not really just a big gain. But in our case, okay, you park it in gold, which is the safe haven, and you have also the opportunity that it's going to increase. And when you see how the fiat money is falling in the purchasing power, gold is increasing, it's rising. In the end, gold is not rising. 1 gram stays 1 gram, but it's not that the chart is going up. The chart is always, one line, but fiat money is going down.
Right.
And that's why gold looks like it's increasing. It doesn't. It stays always the same, and especially gold is scarcity, 21 gram, actually for now. Tomorrow or a week later, it will be different again, because more people are going to come to our planet by birth. Actually, we have something about 21 gram per person. There is not more. I mean, the bullion bank and, the ETFs and so on, this paper gold, this is rubbish.
It's not real.
That's not real, This is just a banking product they are trying to sell, out of the scratch. So from zero, something which is zero worth, a piece of paper was standing, you have just an obligation for gold or something. This is rubbish. In our case, you're really having and getting real gold. And especially, I can't repeat it enough, is just you are the owner and you can get it every time you would like to have your gold, we send it to you. And our advantage is just that we are connected to other values and storages, so we can serve the whole planet from Canada, now please from west to east, from Canada to Singapore. We also could...
So yeah, let me ask, because I've always been into gold. It's been an asset class that I've loved probably first. And it felt like for me, that gold was stuck at 3,000 an ounce for a really long time. And recently we've had geopolitical stuff escalating. We've had the war going on, and gold has been on quite a rally. So how long has your company been around? What were you thinking about this before the war started, or was it war? Has it kind of like made you think about it more?
Oh, I was starting to think about 26 years ago.
Wow. Yeah.
I was one of the kids who was going with the school to see what is the internet, outside of the school. We just go to cafes, which was not really cafes. It was just some rooms, where some terminals were standing. And I don't know if somebody's out there still knowing what's Archie, the running boy. This is just something in the internet what nobody needs it anymore because we have now the Web 2 we are using and actually the Web 3 through the blockchain. But very, very few people know that the blockchain was the real internet in the very first beginning. And the very first cryptocurrency, if you would like to say so, was called BitGold. But unfortunately, the software was fine, but the hardware was too low. I mean, we are talking about 166 megahertz, okay, for just a normal personal computer. This is nothing. This is today, I don't know, maybe if you know what a Game Boy is, it's just a class of a Game Boy. But this was my very first computer. And when I was 20, I was just thinking about, because let me put it this way. I'm just one of these guys who had a career in the banking system very soon and very fast. With 24, I was already branch manager, and with 27, I was the sales director of a home saving company. Oh, wow. And so I learned the system, the banking system from the very early time of my life. And I realized one thing: money, especially fiat money, is fiction. It is just fiction. Unfortunately, I didn't prepare, but for example, we in Europe, the biggest bill we actually have is 200. We also have a 500 euro bill, but they took it away from us for some reason. However, 200, the US dollar bill, let's say 100, just only for people to understand, the highest bill in our case is 200. And 200 euros are printed on a piece of paper with a little bit lametta, so it looks, wow, it's something very, very impossible to fake it. But in the end, the point is that this 200 euro bill, the production cost, including the material, is 16 euro cent. So you need to calculate, not long to understand and to calculate in your mind, wait a minute, 16 euro cent are 1,250 times in 200 euro. So when I go to the bank and say I need smaller bills or just coins, they will give me even less than 200, because of some fees they charge and so on. But what does the central bank in Europe do? Take 200 euros, print 1,250 times 200 euros.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then they made from 200 euros, 250,000 euros. I mean, this is ridiculous. I do not want to believe, that the manager, I'm going to save the names, maybe it's better not to name some people by their name, but I do not want to believe that she is not going downstairs and say, hey, print me just a couple of millions. I need it for whatever. I don't want to believe this. Why should I believe this? On the blockchain, you can exactly check, is this transaction legitimate? How many tokens or coins are really live or out of the wallet from the producer or just the miner, however you would like to call them. And this is fair. I can check whatever is happening and how many token and coins are around. With fiat money, impossible. I mean, they tell us, there's the money, the amount of M1, M2, M3. Everybody can Google what it is. I'm not going to hold now a lesson in this because this is anyway ridiculous. And they're cheating us. It's just simply cheating, And as long somebody can print paper on behalf on belong how they would like to have it, they just buy us, because money is nothing else but the certification of your labor time, working time, so we can trade easy between each other. And when somebody is just the emittent who gives out this money for 16 cents, he buys you for maybe a couple of hours, depends what your job is and what's your salary. And I think this is time to change, and crypto can do it, but only if we separate it from the US dollar. And this is exactly what we're doing. Also, of course, we have a blockchain. It's a blockchain, a real
Mm-hmm.
blockchain. We have also a coin, which is called the stand.
Stand,
This
yeah.
this one can increase and fall just on supply and demand.
Okay.
But
So say I take some of my Bitcoin and I buy some gold. If I were to request that gold, what does that look like?
well, that's pretty easy. You just do a request. We have just a dashboard online
Mm-hmm.
or application for iOS, for Apple, and also
Mm-hmm.
for Android, which means every Google phone.
Mm-hmm.
You can download it in the stores.
Mm-hmm.
It's for free. And then you just give the order and we send it to
Wow.
you.
Yeah.
It's
That's
pretty
amazing.
easy, It's
What
absolutely easy.
is the fee associated? Is there a fee associated with it?
There is no fee associated with it
Oh,
because
okay.
what we are doing, we are gold dealers, okay? When you
Mm-hmm.
go, for example, to buy gold, there is a spread. The
Mm-hmm.
dealer is buying cheaper than he's selling. And
Mm-hmm.
we are focusing on the price of 1 gram.
Mm-hmm.
So we are taking like a classical gold dealer, which handles you out the gold directly. We
Yes.
just take this spread, and this is what we are living off. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
paying the servers, the staff, the developers, the marketing team, and then especially the support, which you can reach through the app or just on the website for the dashboard.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just our game. So
Yeah.
you just get the gold. And we hope, of course, that you are staying as long as possible because
Right.
we have just built a couple of units, in the size of the former European currencies, like shilling in
Mm.
Austria, like mark in Germany. We have also the golden great British pound. I have also developed the US dollar for the North American citizens. But honestly, actually, what's going on, I'm a little bit, let's say, I'm a little bit scared. Let's call it by the name.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to make the dollar concurrent just a competition for now.
Yeah.
But as soon as we have a gold dealer on the other side of the Atlantic, so in the States, and we know the storage is good, like we have it already in Canada, then we can also implement the US dollar. And the thing is that the ratio between these currencies is exactly the one which was before the euro.
Mm-hmm.
So the point is, what I hope that the people start paying with gold, paying each other with gold, and this units makes it just easier. I mean, the stand is, just an investment token. You invest just in a technical token, and it's also backed by gold in the end. The other things are gold, and the technical token is backed by gold. But this is just a token which goes, on supply and demand. And as I realized, we have just double it. It sounds maybe less for crypto sphere, but we haven't done any marketing yet. It was just only, word of the mouth. So this is just an opportunity where you can enter and say, okay, I'm more interested in investment than just only saving it in gold. And you can go into the stand and just wait for a couple of months because what we see now, of course, on our side is that the interest for stand is rising because in stand, it looks like so you enter with 1 gram and it's absolutely possible that you exit with 1 kilogram, so with 1,000 grams.
Wow. Yeah.
And that's, what no one is offering because all this gold-backed token out there, they are not really gold-backed. They're just only, mirroring the gold price. Because when you can buy a gold token on a foreign blockchain, there is no way that there is a cash flow that the gold is bought, and when they are selling, the gold is sold and send it from exchange to exchange.
Yeah,
That's
proof
rocket.
of reserves type. Yeah. So how does that proof of reserves type work?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And we have seen too often proof of reserves, then it fails or exchange is going down or something like this. So I decided I'm not going to do a proof of reserve, which we could have done, but will be more and more easier than the system we have built. In our case, you just really own this piece of gold. And this is important. You are the real owner. Nobody can take it away from you. So we are responsible, and especially by legal law, and we are here in Vienna, Austria, so we are not in Bahamas, we are not in Dubai, we are not offshore. If you just enter a legal lawsuit with us, you have a chance to win if you're, of course, in right. And this is what I want to give to the people, the security that they know, okay, this is here in a country where I can do a lawsuit if he's going to cheat me. Because, in the blockchain sphere, there was so many cheaters in the last couple of years. And scammers, yeah. So that I wanted to give to the users, because they trust me. In the end, they are my clients. They buy gold, let it store in my storages, and I'm responsible to handle it out when they would like to get the things they possess in reality. And of course, the idea is, to make it just to not a currency, but to make the people starting to pay each other in gold. So we're going away from fiat money, and that the crypto sphere is coming to us. There will come a new product. I'm not willing to talk today about it, maybe next time. And this is something I created because of one important thing. I mean, gold has the London fixing. You can say, yeah, there's a cartel behind and telling the price and the money. Okay, everything's fine. But, if I buy, let's say, in Chennai, in India, and sell it without any troubles, of taxes and so on paid, and sell it in New York City, I will maybe have a difference from 2 or 3% of the price, And we saw in the crypto sphere, I'll take again the Bitcoin because it happens there. Elon Musk said the word, it takes too much energy. I mean, the guy, who's producing cars who needs electricity. So what are we talking about? However, it crashes within 24 hours down to 50%, and later from 60, it was in 60, and later down to 17,000. And while it was everywhere, 17,000, in Japan, it was 21,000, and in Nigeria, 41,000. This is not possible in gold, and this is the security I would like to give to the people. So what I wanted to say, I'm not going to make the Bitcoin, how shall I say, bad. But the thing is, there is just an audience around the Bitcoin building, BlackRock, bringing ETFs on the market. I mean, this is exactly what the Bitcoin was not. There should not be any banking product. The Bitcoin is the Bitcoin. Finish. Nothing else more to say or to do. But, some greedy people make a business of it, and it loses what it really was, free money. However, this is what we want to do, to have just a price where we can understand where does the price come from. And especially, this is the price all around the world has to be accepted. And now we are going to offer and reach the hand to every crypto fan and every crypto family, because as I said in the beginning, I realized that there is some kind of fight between gold and crypto. They're going together against fiat, not against each other. But this is, the old thing from Rome, Julius Caesar say, how was it? Divide and conquer. And this is what's happening, And as I said, just imagine only one thing, just this line. And then I will stop to talk about, because I know I'm a talker, so I will say what I do not want to say. Imagine one thing. Let's say Bitcoin is 100% backed by gold. Just a security layer. Bitcoin stays the Bitcoin. All this technology, everything else stays the same. Just only backed by gold. And what I do not like at the Bitcoin and all other cryptocurrencies, we have no option to check, is this price correct? I mean, we rely on big exchanges, market makers, big whales, who's holding a lot of cryptocurrencies. And we just need to trust, okay, this is now the price. But let's keep it honest. From 126 down to below 70, there's something going on. I don't want to believe this. This is rubbish, and we cannot check this. We cannot even have a chance to talk to somebody and say, hey, this is not possible. We just have to accept it or leave it. And this is what we are going to change.
Yeah. It seems like they want us to believe that the Bitcoin price being down, you would think with all of the mass adoption, right? The US is really taking on Bitcoin, and we're really trying to pass these Clarity Act and everything. I can't help but feel like all of this good news has been bad for price, and maybe TradFi shouldn't actually be here.
Of course it is. Look, in the very first beginning of the banking system, without the central banks, there were small companies, family companies. This was banks. And when someone of the family was doing any mistake or just disappointed the customer, everybody was talking. And this bank is going down.
Yeah.
Now we have the central bank, which is in the end the mother of all other banks.
Yes.
I'm not going to hold now a history and the lesson how banks are working, but everybody can check what I say. And now it becomes just a chain. And they are now keen on getting on the blockchain, even if the SWIFT system or any other banking system are the internet only for banks. You and I never will be able to get a SWIFT account, but they have. So why they need it? And there are a lot of conspiracy theories, and we all know what conspiracy theories was in the past. What they are going to do, everybody can check it. What I can talk about is, for example, the contract of Brazilian CBDC, the future central bank digital currencies.
Right.
And I was shocked when I realized after 3 months, it faded away. So if you are not able to save anymore anything, and when you are not able to save anymore anything, you need to become a rockstar, make a lot of money, and then you can buy all these great goods. Yeah. Or I have no idea, because you have no save. And you are not able, to have just a classical, small, tiny family house in our times. It's pretty hard to get there. And when they are just letting the money fade away, you will be only able to rent. And when you rent, you depend to somebody else. I don't like this idea of the future. And I think it's very important that the projects are connecting now. And the only way I see to connect is just the very first layer, what is the US dollar. And what we have just built is the gold. And I think when the crypto people are thinking a little bit about why are we fighting against gold? I mean, you can invest your money in Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, Solana. It's absolutely up to you. XRP. I'm not willing to make just a commercial for any coin, especially. So I'm trying to get everyone in the basket. But when we are going to invest in this, doesn't mean that gold is the opponent. Doesn't mean at all. Gold is just only the safe haven. Okay, the stand is something different, but we needed it because the stand is the blockchain in the end, so it's the technical thing. And when it increases based on supply and demand, why not? When somebody can make money this way, I'm really happy. I'm not allowed to enter in the system because, it will be insider job and so on. So I take care. I will earn anyway through selling the gold. So I'm absolutely satisfied. But I think just only to finish, as soon as we have just the very first layer in a real life asset, which is not fiat money, crypto becomes real free money. And you will see the big companies are not keen on it anymore. Because just to answer the very first question you was asking in the end, because of big companies are entering the system, we are not. And I started to explain the small banks, then comes the big banks. And what many, many times happens when just something like cryptocurrencies is new, the beginners who was, for example, Binance, Ethereum, at Bitcoin, we have nobody. So BlackRock took it over. They just try to avoid that small new projects are coming and rising because they take money from them. And now we have the same thing. What happens with the banks? I see, from the small banks, family companies, now big, big global player. This becomes now, or better say, it started now with crypto, and we need to avoid this.
Yeah, I agree. So if I want to go back to if I took my Bitcoin and bought some gold. And then let's say the war escalates and gold price goes up to 55 an ounce. Is there a way for me to sell that then back into Bitcoin? Or is that something you guys are going to be deploying coming up?
This is going to coming up. We are right now in talk with exchange who is handling this for us, so that everything is smooth and everything is around. You are not just coming to us and say, okay, there is just a market, it's called the swap system, an exchange, a central exchange. No, we are doing this through a third party company, because this is just, the security we give to the people. It's not only us. There are just trustworthy companies who are already in the crypto market. We are here already 5 years in Austria, 3 years in London, and I think also nearby 3 years in Czech Republic. We are now moving to Lithuania, because in Lithuania we have really the best crypto companies we would like to work with, and they are more keen on working with the companies which are already in the country. So, and especially Lithuania becomes somehow the capital city is wrong. It's the capital country for crypto and all crypto projects. Switzerland is trying, to follow and say they are, but they are not. It's Lithuania in the end. More easy, to handle all the things.
So what does 2026 look like, the rest of this year? Do you guys have a fairly busy year? Do you guys go to conferences? What does that look like for you?
Actually, I'm mostly, in just talks like with you today. And I built a really great team. First of all, of the developers, they're really cool. They're really great. I was just starting writing the code, even if I'm not a developer, 24 years ago now. I was starting to learn to program and writing my own code. And this developer finished it. I have just built the fundament, and they have just finished it, that it really works and runs especially. Then we have a great marketing team, especially for Asian markets. And, there is no limit in the net. So we are coming from country to country. I'm having talks, explaining to the people what we are doing. And in the end, 26 is just the year where we are going to rock. We are going to rock, because I see, of course, the numbers. I see the participants who are just entering our system and buying and staying. The silent majority, which is waiting what will happen. And I understand that when we just have as soon as possible, we are talking about a couple of weeks, from now on, we will have this just crypto to gold and gold to crypto back, without the bank or without leaving just the blockchain system. As I said, you can just store our units as well on MetaMask. I prefer MetaMask. I like it because it's just my favorite. I'm not going to say you why, because otherwise I'm selling. But everyone can keep and save their units on their wallet wherever they would like to. It's easy. Blockchain technology allows this. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people will like, especially the idea we are working right now. This is maybe in 2 months, latest in 2 months. We will offer to the crypto community the possibility to say what's the real price, for example, of Bitcoin. Absolutely independent from exchanges, absolutely independent from whales, market makers. The big crowd, the real community, will be able to say, okay, Bitcoin has this worth. And then we're slowly switching into gold, as the very first layer. And all the other cryptocurrencies will get the same possibility and option, just to say by themselves, this is the real worth of our coin.
I love it. Yeah. So I had a question pop in my mind, and then it left me. So for anyone who's wanting to find out more, do you suggest that they go to your website? Do you suggest they download the app? What is the best way for people to find out more?
I suggest first to go to the website. You have on the menu under first of all, you will understand, the very first page is more marketing. I'm not lying to you. This is just marketing, it has to be.
It was about the website. You have on there that you guys are, is it Basel III compliant? Is that your like guarantee? Tell me a little bit about that, so that it gives us all the warm fuzzies.
Basel III regarding to gold, and especially what we are offering, is a zero risk asset.
Okay.
So, it's the only one I know which is zero risk. Even real estate has more risk right now as gold through Basel III.
Right.
And Basel III is just a certificate gold as zero risk asset.
Got it.
And through this, we are offering this as well. And the zero risk, of course, is for you, because you're not buying just in a pool. You're buying gold which belongs to you. And I have also to do some lists. These are intern lists. Nobody sees it but us. maybe some authority if they would like to check something. Every single token belongs to a special bar signed with serial number. So there is no second token which can be directed to this part of the gold. And especially, since we are handle out the gold all around the planet, even in Dubai, we could hand out the gold right now, no problem at all for us. So this is just the security you have. And back to the homepage, I suggest everybody to go to the homepage, standardingold.com. In the menu, you will find features. These are our units. Every unit is explained well. And one unit, we are not released yet. It's already done, so I can talk to you about it. Is just that you will be able to invest money in real small and middle-sized companies.
Oh, wow.
We are talking about bakeries, we are talking about butchers, we are talking about barbers. Anyway, the important thing is we call it the IGC, the Industrial Gold Coin. The Industrial Gold Coin, this is from my point of view, the future of investing money to not only to make money, but maybe to start to gain as much as money as possible monthly and live from it. What is it exactly? You just buy an industrial gold coin for bakery. And together, because you are not just only owner of the industrial gold coin, you are then partner with me. You're the owner of one of all these companies which are financed by this industrial gold coin. And now comes, the advantage. First of all, we need, for example, a baker. And the baker gets the money from us, no loan. It's like, more like, how shall I say? I don't know. There is no word for it, Let me explain it in a couple of lines. So the baker gets the money from us, okay? And instead of paying back a loan, a credit with interests, no payback at all. But we get 30% of the gains of the earnings per year. And this is splitted to everybody depending how many IGCs he had. And one more important thing is you do not invest in one bakery. You invest in all the bakeries which you are building in a pool, okay? So when you own a IGC for bakeries, you are partner and owner of all bakeries we have just financed to do what they have to do, make money for us.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, it's definitely giving traditional finance. Like I can see the framework is there, but you're building it into more of a crypto infrastructure, real world assets. I'm always talking on my channel about predatory lending because I feel like predatory lending practices are really what has a lot of Americans in trouble right now. I mean, whether it's the credit cards that have astronomical, I mean, we're talking like almost 30% interest on these credit cards. And then, you make certain financing really affordable, like cars. And so people all run out and buy cars because, car financing is cheap. Meanwhile, they're putting their groceries on their credit cards and, then the house of cards all falls down eventually. And so I hate the predatory lending stuff. So I like that you're coming up with a solution for people that, helps them kind of avoid that. Not only that, but for a company to try and get like a corporation to try and get financing, a small business loan is so impossible. My brother is an electrician. He has a C10. He does solar. He can't get a business loan. He cannot get a business loan. It doesn't matter that he has all these projects he's done, people working for him. It's just the way that lending is. And so,
as I told you, I was with 24. I was already branch leader, branch manager. And I can tell you I will tell you a story.
Okay.
There was coming some guys with an idea for a business, the pizza stone. I was holding myself for laughing. Okay, what is the pizza stone? They want to sell it for $29.90. And what is it? It's just a piece of stone, marmor,
rock.
in the rock. You get a shovel for the pizza and you get a cooking book for pizza. And you put the stone in your oven and then you have And I
Yeah.
was looking and say, sorry, I go to the, I don't know, to the market and buy just a stone. That's
Yeah.
maybe €2. The pizza cookbook, I mean, in the internet, there are so many recipes for pizza, and even on YouTube, you can watch it
Yeah.
and see how it really has to be done. It's for free, and the shovel is maybe on Amazon for €12. So, guys, don't get me wrong. Listen. Then, in the other side, came a guy with a blockchain technology idea. And I was really, really, hearing, okay, maybe he's doing what I want to do and planning all the time. No, he was doing something different. But it was great. I understood it. It was the perfect thing. It was before Bitcoin. Do you know what? The guys with the pizza stone get the loan and the other guy not.
It's
The
crazy,
other guy,
right?
the other guy is me. In the meantime, he's a millionaire.
Yeah.
In the pizza stone, I know they are broke. So this is ridiculous. This is banking. Banking is not really. How shall I explain it the best? The general director, who is in the end who decide what the bank is allowed to do and not. With the gremium, of course.
Right.
He is never sitting with the people, in the branch and talking to them and understand what the really needs of the people are. So, as you said, it's nearby impossible for a small business to get a loan. Now we can handle this. And especially, I'm not going to call it investment because, you are entering a real life, how shall I say, production. We are really, investing is the wrong word, You are going to buy in the end the partnership where you can gain what in the beginning the shares have been before Wall Street understand, okay, they can just let it increase on the supply and demand and so on. In the end, the share of a company is nothing else that you get just a part of the gain, which the guy done because you just finance. But in our case, we are going to do the partnership. The entrepreneur, the guy who is going, or the woman who would like to be self-employed and opening the company, has absolutely no debts. You need to imagine what this means. You start, your business, and there are no debts. Only when you make some profit, 30% for the crowd. And the best thing is, all the thing you need, all the thing you need, the machines, the ingredients, or whatever you need for the business. We are talking right now about the bakery, but there are
Yeah.
different things. You don't need to have headache. Oh my God, how can I pay this? Oh my God, how will I return the loan, the credit? How will I save the money? I have also to pay rent. Blah blah blah. Everything understandable. And when we start saying, okay, you don't have this pressure, imagine how the mentality will change when a baker has his bakery. And especially, how will it change all the world? When you have to imagine the guy who is working for the baker, a young person who is going to learn to be the baker, he's also the owner. And when the next time the customer is standing in front of the baker, the customer thinks, hey, this guy is making money for me. And the baker thinks, hey, this guy was giving me the opportunity that I can do the bakery. And this will increase and rise pretty soon. And I offer here as well, because there is no limit what means countries. We are interested in every country to place our product. If anybody is really interested in opening his own company and needs money this way, that he has no loan, no interest, but we get the crowd. The crowd gets 30% of winnings only. So if there are no winnings, nothing to pay. So if somebody is interesting and need money to start his own business, very, very welcome. Come to Standard & Gold. Just open only an account that we have a relationship, because this is necessary from legal law that we talk about this. Otherwise, I'm offering a banking product, which we are not. So just register. In this case, you're a client of mine, and you can talk to me in the Telegram community. Just leave a message. I will see it, and we will come to you. So everybody who would like to become self-employed, open his company, small and middle-sized, you're very welcome. You are the guys we are looking for, because you are in the end the real economy which is happening out there.
Yeah. Wow. I love that. Hold on. I'm going to click something here. Oops. I was trying to click and not kick you off the stage, and it was going to do it anyway. I just realized here that I don't have your name next to you, and I wanted to put that on there so people could see your name and how to look you up.
Well, they call me all Oliver Stan, but my name is pretty
Oliver
difficult to
Stan.
say in English.
Okay, let's see. It's not giving it to me. Yeah, save that. I don't know why it's not showing it. It's not showing it. Okay, Oliver, let me go ahead. I'm gonna pull up your guys' X page here. So that way I can show everybody where to go to.
They're going to the future.
I am going to the future. I love that. I'm like not used to working on this interface here. There you are. Oh, there we go. All right, I'm clicking around all over and I couldn't get it loaded, but here we go. Standard.
That's technology.
Yeah. Always when you want it to show, right? Okay, here we go. Popping that up here. So here's your X page. Standard in gold. So standardingold.com is the website. So you can go on here and take a look. You guys have been doing some really good marketing. I actually was looking through all of your partnerships, announcements, and things like that. You have your Telegram listed here. Just really love what you guys are doing here. Your team's doing a great job at
Thank you very much. I will tell them.
Putting this out. Yeah.
It will be a pleasure.
So, what is there anything else that you want to add? Anything that maybe we haven't touched on in our conversations that you wanted to speak about?
Well, I can only invite everybody to come to the website or download just the application, iOS and Android, which means Apple and all the other phones. For the people who are interested in put a little bit money and get more out of it, this is definitely the stand. Take a look at the stand; you will like it, at least. For everybody who is just only interested to save their money from inflation, this is every other unit like Solid and GATS, GDEM, the foreign, the formerly currencies of Europe. Also, the US dollar is available as soon as we have a partner for storage in the United States. I have an idea, and we are also in conversation. But if there is anybody who is a gold dealer and listening to this, you're very welcome to contact me. As I said, I'm looking for the gold US dollar just for a partner in the States. And all others, please wait for the IGC. This is the token I have explained. This will be definitely something great. And pretty soon we will have just also the unit, which I'm talking too much up front. Let's go to the IGC back. Where the IGC is real life economy where you're investing it and you're a partner. You're not just only investor, you're a partner. When every decision every time when a decision is to be made, you will be asked, and we can democratically do some how shall I say, elections. We will also together decide which baker we are going to finance, which baker we are not going to finance. Thanks to the blockchain, this is possible. Maybe some guys in the
will it'll have a voting system integrated for the people who are participating?
I didn't want to call it a voting system, but
it's like a DAO. It's like a DAO.
It is a voting system. It's a voting system, based on the blockchain. I'm trying to avoid voting system because I'm not big enough to go enter the fight with some politicians.
Right.
But in the end, it's a voting system just for the partners to decide where we are going to put the money in.
I again, like when we started the conversation, I talked to you about real world assets and how I said I thought that they were kind of the best use case of crypto. And I kind of like, I feel like this is the way that crypto needs to be going. We need to be making these steps. We need to be the real world assets, being able to create these avenues for people to really enrich their lives. I feel like That's the basis of what crypto is all about. And you've kind of like grabbed the fundamentals and built it in a way that is easy for people, normies, to understand, I guess we would call them.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, we are still living in a world where, as you say, normies, but there are also old people, you know. I'm just on the edge. So I understand, you know, the younger generation, which is keen on technology. And I also understand the older generation, which just in the end have the real money because of the age, you know. And when I see sometimes in the bank an old lady, I'm talking right now about really old, is not able to handle, you know, the machine to get some money out. We still we must not forget, you know, these people also exist, and when we make this and we're suddenly all in crypto, you and I and a lot of people will understand, but the majority will not understand.
Right.
I realize that many people are in Bitcoin when I talk to people just only to make some gains. I mean, why not? Okay, that's absolutely fair, and it's a normal thing that you would like to get more money out than you enter. But we also must not forget, if all these banks and all these big companies are taking over right now, it will happen exactly what I was explaining with the small banks, you know, and in every, like casinos as well. Let's take casino. Casino, you know, everybody was able to do this until some law come, and only a monopoly was, for example, here in Austria, only the state is allowed to do a casino. Also for cigarettes, only the state, only the state. In the end, you will see crypto, if we do not take care, will also be only the state. So we need now really, and we don't have a lot of time, I think less than 3.5 years, just to implement our own very first layer, which I suggest gold, because I've built it based on gold, and especially because gold is VAT free. You know, you don't have any value added taxes where they can just screw it off.
Right.
But this is just an asset, you know, you don't have to explain when you hold it in the most countries around the planet. After 1 year, you don't even have to pay any taxes on the gains you made for holding it after 1 year. And this is just the very, very best asset for the first layer. And when we are going to do this, and especially with the units we have already created, we are testing in the testing phase now. The beta phase will start pretty soon. You will see then every other cryptocurrency will have its own value without any exchange, without any big player who can crush, you know, the hard earning money of somebody, because somebody enters at 126,000 or even at 100,000, you know, he is still in mind that, oh my God, I lose 30,000, because these are just people who entering just to gain money. And as I say, it's absolutely okay that they would like to get more money than they put in. But, you know, as long as we are relying on big players where you have not the possibility to control it, I mean, serious. This is not fair. I understand that the big players want to take the biggest part of the cake, but I think the cake belongs to the people. And also, I'm not making a secret of it. I'm just building standard in gold, not for me. When I'm done with my work, and I hope this will be in a couple of years because I'm getting older as well, like everybody, it's just to give to the people all around the world. You know, I built it for all mankind, because we are right now in a situation that we rely on money, which I explained, you know, for 16 cents, 200 euro, which is a little bit more than 200 US dollar. What are we talking about? It's not fair, you know. They can print the money as they would like to do, and nobody can explain me that the boss of any central bank is not going down and say, hey, print me a couple of more money, I need it for whatever.
Whatever
I do not want to believe. I don't say they are doing it. I'm not claiming. I'm not going to a legal law, but I don't want to believe this.
Right.
Because as long as we cannot check, I don't believe anything. And we see how politicians are, you know, promises, promises, promises. And when they come to the power, did I really say this? I can't remember.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the same with the money system. That's why crypto is great. But unfortunately, everybody is calculating in US dollar. I'm sure there will come a time when we don't even need a gold layer, when every crypto will have its own value, and you will know when you say, hey, I have one Ethereum, and you have just a value in mind. But
Right.
this is in future. This is just in future.
Mhm.
And as long as we do not take these steps, I'm offering to the people, we are going to lose this game. We are going to lose this game because crypto should be something for people. And now big companies entering. Okay, the market maker whales. Maybe they become when they buy pretty cheap. Could happen. I don't think so because everybody who saw the very first time a couple of millions, he
Mhm.
just exit and buy his car, his house, and so on. Absolutely normal. And when we do this, how shall I say, period of time to say,
Mhm.
okay, it's gold backed, you know what I mean? There is
Yeah.
just a price in gold. Then we have bridged it over to the time when we say, okay, crypto doesn't need a very first layer because it's its own layer.
Mhm.
I hope I
Yeah.
explained it well.
I have faith that we're gonna get there. I have faith we're gonna get there. Like, I'm in my mind, I'm thinking back to school when they're teaching us what a nickel and a dime and all of the currencies were, right? And so now it's like we just need to teach them what the bitcoins and the Ethereums and the Solanas are all worth. And you can see it online. They'll you can go ask strangers, do you want $100? Would you rather have $500 now or one Bitcoin? And most people are going to take the 500 cash. So it's just, they don't know what they don't know. And so, but
That's the point. I do it in the opposite way. I fight with the people for Bitcoin to see what's going on in them. I
yeah,
say no, it's rubbish. It's nothing good. It's a pyramid scheme. I try to understand how they think, and I provocate them. Because I
yeah.
learned in the bank only when you provocate somebody, you will see what he's really thinking. And what
Ah.
I realized, they are absolutely in fear.
Hmm.
This is not, that they are brutal or just rude. They're only afraid that I'm right and the Bitcoin is really going down to zero or something. And this is the thing. And then they fight with me because they understand I'm in gold.
Yeah.
Then I realized what's going on here. Gold and crypto are not fighting against each other. They're
No.
going the same way. They're exactly in the
Yep.
same way against fiat.
Yes.
And then I understood one important thing. They
Hmm.
do not understand how crypto is really working and the function
Right.
of crypto. So, they are afraid because they entered making some millions because they hear, wow, he's making millions with Bitcoin, he is making millions with Ethereum, and so on. And this is the fear, because nothing is happened. It was going to 126, suddenly, bam, crashed to
Hmm.
60. What's going
Yeah.
on? They do not understand. But I think in the end, as I say, this is just not a commercial for Bitcoin or everything else. But I think you will see when we connect Bitcoin and gold, then let's go to the moon. Will sound stupid. We're going to Uranus.
Yeah. We're gonna get there. I have faith. So.
100%, 100%, 100%. Because the most important thing is, that small projects, small exchanges, of
Hmm.
course, we as well, are going to work together. That's the reason for the partnerships.
Hmm.
Because, we are not strong enough,
Hmm.
every single one by himself, to
Right.
fight against a system like BlackRock. This is rubbish. To think a
Absolutely.
small company going against BlackRock, this is stupid, nothing
Yeah.
else. But if we connect with each other, if we say, listen, the very first layer is not dollar, it's just gold.
Yeah.
Imagine what this will mean. And gold is a natural scarcity.
Yes.
There is just not
Ta-
more than we have.
Taking something scarce and applying it to something that is also scarce. Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was
Um,
what traditional finance systems were built on. But the dollar was originally built on gold till it went to the petrodollar and
yeah,
is now
yeah.
a REIT dividend, whatever,
Mhm.
piece of paper
Unfortunately,
now.
Unfortunately, now it's
So
piece of paper. Look, in 71, when Richard Nixon was separated the U.S. dollar from gold,
the gold,
one
yeah.
one ounce was 35 U.S. dollar.
Yeah.
You can
Crazy.
check what 1 ounce is actually now. This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then you need to understand also the economy changed through
Hmm.
this. Because when the dollar was connected, or better said, backed by gold,
Hmm.
um, a family father was able to feed a family of five.
Yeah.
Today, both need to go to work, maybe even two jobs, just to pay
And
the rent.
struggle. And struggle. Yeah.
That's
So,
that's that's rubbish.
yeah.
And I don't think that's happened. This happened by accident. So when everybody is talking about war and so on, I say, yeah, there is a war, and I think it was Warren Buffett. Was it Warren Buffett who said? I'm not sure. There is a war, rich against poor.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a secret, 1% is the owner of 99% of all assets
Well,
all around the
yeah.
world, and the
Yeah.
rest of us 99% are fighting
Fighting
over.
for the rest. Yeah.
That's ridiculous, and I really suggest everybody to see A Dinner for Few on YouTube. It's an animation movie, a short one, but
Mm-hmm.
it shows exactly how this world works. And I think that the time, the internet, that the technology, even AI, if somebody's afraid of it, we can use it for us as well.
Mm-hmm.
That it's time that we connect and made something, and this is possible now. And especially when we make standard in gold, what I told you already, it's not only for me. In a couple of years I will give it to the people. There will be just maybe I have an idea how we can make the how it's called in English. Give me just a second. The border,
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
the board where some people are sitting and deciding, but they will decide based on just the voting system we already have built. So
Right.
people have also just a voice to say, listen, this is the monetary system. This is just the certification of my labor time. I don't want this. So I vote against, for example, this suggestion somebody made or an opinion which is spoken out. So, we are going to make the most important thing people ever can imagine. We are going to create a system so that everybody who is taking a part has a voice. And
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if you have 1 million or just only one,
Yeah.
same rights, one voice, no matter how much you hold, one voice, no matter how low you hold. So, this is something we are going to build. And I'm pretty sure 26, the end of 26, we are already having a big milestone behind us, which means that the people understand that we are not fighting against crypto. We are just going to push crypto. We are
Yes.
going to give it a value, a real value. And so nobody can ever say, yeah, this is a pyramid scheme, blah, blah, blah. No, this is market capitalization, brother. If you do not understand, go to the internet, ask the AI. It will explain you 100% better than I do, because she will understand your niveau. She will understand how to explain it to you. You can ask and ask and ask until you understand. And I think it's time to do this. So I really invite everybody, especially people who would like to become self-employed, start their own business, just get in contact with us. We will do something, because you are the very first layer for the real economy we are going to build. And as I said, in few weeks, I will update you. Maybe you would like to talk it one more time when I
Yeah.
show you. Fine. When I show you exactly how we are going to make the real value of the cryptocurrencies. As I said already, if we have Bitcoin in gold from the very first beginning, Bitcoin will be now 214,761.
If priced in gold. Wow. Yeah. Unbelievable.
And now it's 74,000. I mean, what's going on here?
Yeah. Yeah.
But we can change it, and we will change it. So everybody who is interested in his own coin he's holding, to give him a real value, just come to us, take the download just the app on your phone, grab some solid. This is just 0.1 gram of gold. Get a couple, because this is done in the end, the unit where you're going to purchase the other things.
Yes. Wonderful. Well, I appreciate you coming on and teaching me all about this wonderful product you've been developing.
Okay.
We're going to wrap it up here. I would love to have you on again, but hang on once we end the show, because I want to chat with you before you dip off. So thank you all for tuning in. You guys, if you are new here, smash a subscribe. Be sure to look up Oliver, look at what he's building, take a look, and let us know if you have any questions in the comments. We'd be happy to catch them all for you on the next show. So thank you all for tuning in. We will catch you all on the next one. Bye-bye.